Um, so I've never told anybody my story, so I'm gonna tell them over YouTube. You may see a little baby walking back here. Um, so just a little baby. August 2010, I met a boy. We didn't date long because not even 2 months later, he had cheated on me. I was heartbroken. In the midst of being heartbroken, I cut myself for the first time. Nothing big or outrageous, just 3 simple scrapes across my wrist with a sharp piece of glass from a broken mirror. But what I at first didn't believe to be a big deal indeed was. I couldn't stop. I started cutting every day from that point on, and it became not just a few little scratches. They were getting deeper, leaving my skin torn and broken, and to me it was beautiful. In November of 2010, I met another boy, and I can honestly say I started to fall for him the moment we met. We were lab partners, yeah, just like in the movies, and we started dating. At first it was a simple relationship, hugs and smiles. After all, I was still fairly innocent, only in 7th grade. The cutting continued, hidden behind closed doors and long sleeves. In December of 2010, I introduced my best friend to my boyfriend. They became friends easily, which made my life easier. Except in 2011, I dumped the same boy because he'd been spending more time with my best friend than me, and for what I knew wasn't right. The cutting got worse, and to top it all off, the day after I ended our relationship, he was dating my best friend. Close to the end of January, however, me being stupid and naive, he asked me back out after dumping her one night, and I agreed. I was such an idiot. By this point, my best friend and I were no longer best friends anymore, and I specifically asked my boyfriend not to talk to her because it made me feel extremely uncomfortable. He agreed, but he didn't listen. Throughout the next year, 8th grade, I heard rumors throughout the middle school hallways that they're still talking and doing other things. My boyfriend started hitting me in private and even sometimes in public. I became too afraid to leave, too scared, but I also believed that I could fix him, that somehow he would change for me, that I meant enough to him for him to want to be a better person. Also throughout this year, my cutting had progressively gotten worse. I started doing drugs, cocaine, marijuana, and inhalants. I also drank alcohol constantly. In January 2012, I was given evidence that my boyfriend went to the movies with another girl and cheated on me. And I broke up with him. My heart was shattered once again. I had been cheated on for a second time. He had been my first everything. How could I have been so stupid? Still, somehow, that didn't seem to click, and I forgave him again. In February of 2012, I was sent to a local psychiatric hospital and diagnosed with depression, anxiety, PTSD from when I was sexually molested by 2 different people when I was younger, bulimia, chemical dependency, and borderline alcoholism, and of course, suicidal tendencies. 2 weeks later, just entering March, I was sent to another psychiatric hospital a few hours outside of my hometown. Timberlawn was the name, a creepy-looking joint smack dab in the middle of Dallas, Texas. I was put on 8 different medications. When I finally got out of the place, I hadn't changed. I was still with the same guy doing the same stupid shit. I ran away from my home in May of 2012 and 3 weeks later was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor. I was released 2 weeks later and still hadn't changed. Drugs became nirvana and life had no meaning without them. I was sent to another psychiatric hospital a month later and was released 3 weeks later, and then sent again the next week and was released 4 weeks later. Then, 2 weeks later, was charged with evading arrest, a misdemeanor, resisting arrest, a misdemeanor, runaway, misdemeanor, and assault of a police officer, a 3rd-degree felony. I spent multiple months in the juvenile prison here in Central Texas called TYC. When I got out, I realized I was pregnant. The day I told my boyfriend, he didn't come to me. He went straight to my ex-best friend's house and raped her new best friend. Yes, rape. He was arrested, and I left him. I started eating correctly. I stopped doing drugs. Um, uh, I started eating correctly. I stopped doing drugs and drinking. I struggled with cutting, and I still do occasionally, but it's nearly 100 times better than before. I now have a 16-month-old beautiful baby girl. I've graduated high school now. After dropping out, I got a diploma. I went back and got a diploma 2 years early, and I'm a single mom going off to college. I haven't slipped up or gone back to that guy ever again, and he isn't a part of me and my daughter's life. He has just now gotten out of jail over 2 years later, and I pray we never have to see him again. I was naive back then, and I'm okay with that, because without all the situations I put myself into, but without all the situations I put myself into, I would have never been where I am today. John Green once said, "We are as indestructible as we believe ourselves to be." I am not indestructible because I do not want to be, nor do I want my child to be. Oh, good gosh. We must feel pain and sadness and loss, at least for a moment in time. Come on, Brooklyn. Look. Okay, look. We must feel sadness and pain and feel lost, at least for a moment in time, because without that, how are we ever supposed to feel joy and love and happiness? I'm okay now. I do struggle on occasion. I do sometimes want what I used to have, but I am happy and I am okay, and I am alive and strong and accomplished, and even at this young age of 16, I know what I want to do with my life. I don't let my depression or my anxiety or my past addictions and problems dictate what I want to do now with my future. My future is bright, and I'm going to finally be able to start living. My name is Paris Rothy. I'm 16 years old. I'm living in Central Texas. I'm a single mom who has struggled with addiction, domestic violence, self-harm, self-hate, mental illness. And I am not completely whole, nor will I ever be, because no one on this earth truly is. However, I know what I'm working towards, and that's mending a few of my problems, a few of my holes. I am strong, I am powerful, I am loved and cherished and independent, and I am a survivor.